I'm Tom Bowling, and I'm here to share with you an exciting collection for 2020. This is the anchor of wedding and event work as far as the color palette is concerned. You know, we're seeing that softer look, and that's exactly what we're seeing expressed here in our beautiful collections termed Sophisticated Serenity. And you can see all the different interesting garden type flowers that are available, and we're going to talk about those as we develop a styling here and get more into the particular colors. But the ranunculus, the mini roses, the cabbage roses all combine so wonderfully to do that expression for your event work or for your interior work as well. So I'm going to let that sit right there for a minute. And we've chosen a little bit more of a formal container, the compote, and it gives us that level of sophistication. And again, with all these particular types of flowers that we have available, it just marries so wonderfully and ties so well together. Now, of course, the hydrangea is a go-to flower. We know that at this point. You know, it's one. You look at certain flowers and you think, how did I ever operate without those? Hydrangea becomes almost one of those flowers at this point in time. So I'm going to start by bringing up my greenery, sliding up the greenery, doing the insertion into my floral foam. And as you see, I'll just push that up, bending my stem, doing the insertion into the foam, and letting that greenery slide really close to the surface. So as you've noticed, I haven't used a lot of moss or covering technique, because my greenery that becomes a part of my composition acts as that cover for the moss or for the foam. And if I did need additional coverage when I get completely finished, that's when I would go back in and tuck in and pin in a little bit of the moss. So this is probably one of my favorite colors that's brand new, and it is the Ivory Pink. And if you look at it, it's not quite either one. It's not an ivory, it doesn't have the warmth of ivory, but it doesn't have the strength of pink. It's right there in between. So it's that great color combination that works absolutely wonderful, and it bridges the two flower colors. Doing the same technique here. Giving that stem a little bit of a bend and a twist so it looks more natural. And as you notice, when we get to the edge, we want to spill that flower over and then turn the head back up. So let me show you. We want to spill it down, that breaks the edge of the container, but turn up the flower head to be growing to the sun. So it gives it, again, more of a natural kind of a look to it. So bend and back up it goes. I think I need one more. Looks great so far. It's a very lush type of a feel to it. But let's add in some additional color. This is the thistle, the color thistle. Even when you say thistle, it brings a color imagination into your mind. It tells a story immediately. And again, it's a brand new color for us. Oh, that looks so great in there. And as we develop our concept here, we would notice that all the forms, the shapes of the flowers are getting a little bit, almost what I would call too similar in its appearance. So I want to make sure that we break that up and use some additional materials as we have options for. The great thing about permanent is they're forgiving and they let us do what we need to do. Little mini ranunculus, smaller here, regular size here. looking at and evaluating the composition as we do. Right now I'm looking at color, placement, and form as well. Form being the shape of the flower. Got a little bud or smaller. Place him there at the top. Ooh, looking lush and wonderful so far. All right, let's take on, add a little bit more coloration here. And we're going to do the mini ranunculus. So beautiful. And again, that thistle color, it's a softer shade, meaning that it's not going to be quite as aggressive to the viewer. A little clustering there. Those little the little mini ranunculus popping out. Giving it that dimension in our design that we are striving for. Ooh, it's come together beautifully. By top dressing or layering our look, it does add that extra dimension of color and texture and form, so we have a lot of in and out motion with our eye to do that. And I think, you know, we're going to add one more thing, and that's a little bit of this beautiful grass, ornamental grass. And we're seeing so much of the grasses being used in event work and interior work as well. So we're going to add a touch of that, kind of like a spice if you were cooking. We don't want it to be so strong that it overpowers the composition, but yet we still want to break up all those traditional rounded forms to give us a little bit more of an interesting look to it. And if you go, oh wow, Tom, I think that's a little strong, you could, if you needed to, maybe trim it out, but for me, I like that extension plus the coloration, that subtle coloration that's up at the top. I don't want to lose that in my composition here. So as you can see, brand new, gorgeous colors. It's the colors for spring, summer 2020. Enjoy.